ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं सावधूतं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्नीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to Wisdom of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We were very fortunate last week to start this chapter, chapter 12 of Canto 1, in association with His Holiness Ramai Swami Maharaj, who explained very elaborately the first two verses of this chapter. So we will begin. So this chapter is named, chapter 12 is named as Birth of Emperor Parīkṣit. We'll quickly do a recap of chapter 11 before we start here. So we saw in chapter 11 that Lord Shri Krishna arrived in Dwarka. The chapter was called Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. So when he arrived at the border of Dwarka, then he blew his conch shell Panchajanya. And he blew that conch shell just to remove the sorrows from the heart of all the Dwarkavasis. And once they heard that Lord Shri Krishna has come, they dropped everything and they ran towards Krishna. And they had some gifts in their hands, and they offered those gifts when they saw Krishna. They offered those gifts in love and devotion. And Krishna is self-sufficient. He is Atmaram. He has everything. He is the one who's providing it to everyone in this material world and in the spiritual world. But he still accepted those gifts, just like father is very happy when a child buys some gifts with the money that is given by the father. But still, father sees the love that the child has for him. And the Dwarkavasis then glorify the Supreme Lord. They say that you are the supreme shelter. You are unaffected by time. You are our mother, father, guru, well-wisher, everything is you only. And they requested that the Lord keep showering mercy onto them. And they say that without you, every moment feels like millions of years. And the world becomes like eyes without the sun. We can't see the world, even if we have the eyes, we can't see the world without the sun. So similarly, even if there is everything that is there around, but if Krishna was not there, then it was Shunyaitam Jagata Sarvam. So it was, they were not interested in that world. Then when Lord Shri Krishna entered Dwarka, then it was explained how the entire city was beautifully decorated. And there were all natural decorations. They use fruits, uh, the banana trees, leaves, mango leaves, and fragrant water. Then there were seeds, fruits, lamps, everything was there. And at every home, the family prepared to worship the Supreme Lord as per whatever their capacity was. They had incense, fruits, lambs, sweets, and they also prepared for distributing prasadam to everyone. And when all the major leaders and the family members like Vasudev and the leaders like Akrura, Ugrasen, Balram, everyone, like when they heard that Krishna has come, they left their work, like they abandoned their duties and they sat on their chariots with Brahmanas and they went towards Lord Shri Krishna to receive him with love and respect. And there were musical instruments which were sounded, there were elephants, there were chariots, and there were Vedic mantras which were getting chanted. There were dancers, singers, dramatists who were performing at every corner. And there was like a huge celebration. It was a festival when Lord Shri Krishna arrived. And Lord Shri Krishna reciprocated with everyone. And it was mentioned that he reciprocated yatha vidhi. So he bowed to the elders, he embraced the friends, he gave blessings to the children, and he smiled towards the citizens. Like that, he acknowledged everyone's gifts and everyone's arrival and welcome for him. Ladies of Dwarka, they were eagerly waiting for the Lord, and they came to the rooftops of their houses to take darshan of the Lord. And even though they have been seeing Krishna regularly in Dwarka, whenever Krishna was there, they were never satiated. They were never satisfied. They wanted to absorb Krishna's beauty more and more because Krishna's beauty is ever fresh and unlimited. Then Krishna enters his palace, uh, enters his father's palace, and he offers obeisances to his mothers. The mothers embrace him, and their affection was overflowing. Then he entered his own 16,108 palaces. He expanded himself into 16,108 forms and he entered all the palaces simultaneously. And he reciprocated with each of his queens personally. And at that point, towards the end of the chapter, we saw Krishna's character was glorified. It was mentioned that Lord Shri Krishna is never agitated and he is not controlled by the material beauty. He accepts his queens because of their sincere affection and devotion, not because of their feminine beauty. He is fully spiritual, untouched by material modes. And devotees who take his shelter, they are freed from the material influence, just like he is free from the material influence. Anyone who takes shelter of him, they also becomes free from the three modes of material nature. So that is how the chapter 11 was glorifying and describing in detail Lord Shri Krishna's arrival in Dwarka and how the Dwarkavasis were so happy to receive him and how they celebrated his arrival with this big festival. So that is where we are going to begin this chapter 12 called Birth of Emperor Parīkṣit, verse number 1. Shri Shaunaka Uvacha Aśvatthāmnopasruṣṭena brahmaṣirṣṇoru Uttarāya hato garbha ishena jivitah punaha. Yes, Uma Mataji, Vitushi Mataji.
The sage, Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Correct.
the sage Saunaka said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaja Parīkṣit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmāstra weapon released by Aśvatthāmā. But Maharaja Parīkṣit was saved by the Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna. So this chapter 12 is going to go like this. So in the beginning, there are going to be inquiries which will be done about Maharaj Parīkṣit. And then Suta Goswami will start explaining about the birth. But before explaining the birth, he mentions the wonderful family background of Parikshit by explaining Yudhishthira's exemplary rule. Then Suta Goswami explains how Parikshit Maharaj was born, even though he was attacked by Brahmāstra, how Krishna protects him in the womb, and how Parikshit Maharaj gets the darshan of Lord Shri Krishna. Then it will be explained in the chapter various ceremonies which were done during the birth, and then how then Brahmanas glorify Parikshit Maharaja's future qualities. They were able to foresee his future qualities, and then those qualities are mentioned by Brahmanas and they are glorified. And then towards the end of the chapter, it will be mentioned about how Parikshit Maharaj grows and Yudhishthira Maharaja's various different sacrifices. So that is how this chapter is going to flow. So it is mentioned, like in this first verse itself, that Shaunaka Rishi is asking about Parikshit Maharaj. Now, interestingly, Shaunaka Rishi had already asked about this question in the fourth chapter. If you remember, Shaunaka Rishi asked like multiple questions, but about mainly three subject matters. He asked questions about Bhagavatam, how Bhagavatam came into being, how Vyasadeva wrote it, how he got inspiration and all of that. And then about Parikshit Maharaja's birth, and also about Shukadeva Goswami. So Srimad Bhagavatam, the hearer, and also the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So those were the three sets of questions Shaunak Rishi had already asked in the fourth chapter. And Suta Goswami started answering those questions immediately in the fourth chapter itself. And he first talked about how Bhagavatam was written by Vyasadeva on Narada Muni's inspiration. And that description went from fourth chapter to seventh chapter. And in the seventh chapter, he started talking about Maharaj Parikshit's birth. And he started that pastime when Ashwathama Ashwathama killed the 5 sons of Draupadi who were sleeping. But when he explained that, then he just went on talking about few other topics. So he mentioned that how Ashwathama killed the 5 sleeping sons of Pandava. Then there was a Brahmāstra which he released to kill Arjuna, but then Arjuna counteracted that Brahmāstra. He arrested Ashwathama. Then there was a punishment which was done by Arjuna for him. Then Kunti Maharani's prayers were explained. Pandava's visit to the palace, to the place where Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows. Then Bhishma Deva's prayers were explained. And thereafter, the Lord's departure for Dwarka from Hastinapur, that was explained elaborately. And then how Lord Shri Krishna was received in Dwarka, that was explained elaborately. And sages were quite happy to hear all of that. It was not that they were getting bored and they were looking at the watch saying that ये प्रभु जी का lecture कब खत्म होगा, and he has gone in various different directions and the main topic तो भूल ही गए. So nothing of that sort was happening. They were quite happy, they were satisfied. Main reason was because Suta Goswami was talking about Krishna Katha. And as long as Suta Goswami was speaking about Krishna Katha, they are satisfied. They can just sit there and hear, just like Parīkṣit Mahārāja was sitting there and hearing from Shukadeva Goswami. The Shaunakadi rishis were also satisfied and they were happy to hear as long as Krishna Katha and Krishna's devotees Katha is going on. In the 8th chapter, while all of this Katha was going on, Suta Goswami actually mentioned, he came close to describing Parīkṣit Mahāraja's birth. And he mentioned in a few verses that when Uttara came running towards Lord Shri Krishna, when Krishna was departing to Dwarka, and Uttara offered prayers and said that this Brahmāstra is killing the child in my womb, so please protect. And at that time, it was mentioned that Krishna protected Parīkṣit Maharaj. But even after that, still, Suta Goswami went on and forgot about that main thread of Parīkṣit Maharaj, and he went on discussing other things. So he got attracted, Suta Goswami was attracted by Kunti Devi's prayers, which came immediately after that. Then he wanted to describe and glorify Bhishma Dev and his prayers. So he went to in that direction. So now all of that has been done and heard by Shaunakadi rishis, and they are just reminding Suta Goswami that we want to still hear about Parīkṣit Maharaj. You have very briefly explained about Parīkṣit Maharaj's birth, but please explain more. So this is generally what happens when Srimad Bhagavatam speakers are giving these lectures. So speakers, they get to another topic, and then from that topic, they get some connection and they go to another topic and then to another topic like that. But because all of these topics are related to Lord Shri Krishna, the audience relish it. And sometimes then the audience sometimes asks a particular question and brings it back, brings the topic back onto the main topic where it started. So this is the same thing which is happening here, that Shaunakadi rishis are asking this question, and they are asking that how was Maharaj Parīkṣit saved when Brahmāstra attacked the womb of Uttara? Because Brahmāstra is invincible. There is nothing in the material world that can counteract Brahmāstra. It is the ultimate weapon in the material world. And that kind of weapon was attacking the womb of Uttara, and Parīkṣit Maharaj is helpless inside the womb. Even just the little fire can kill that child in the womb. What to speak of Brahmāstra, and it is Teja. It is mentioned, Brahma Shirshno Rutejasa. So Teja like this invincible Brahmāstra weapon released by Aśvatthāmā. So how was Parīkṣit Maharaj saved from it? So that is the question Shaunaka Rishi has asked. So he continues. He wants to know specific things about Parīkṣit Maharaj. So he is continuing and asking further. Tasya janme mahā-buddhe karmāణi ca mahātmanah nidhanam ca yathaivasit sapretya gatavan yatha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. How was the great Emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place, and where did he achieve after his death?
So now he's continuing and asking, thank you, Maharaj, that how was he born? How did his death take place? So birth and death, and what did he achieve after his death? So the destination after his death. So in that, if you have covered birth and you have covered death, then everything in between birth and death is also covered. Tell me about everything from start to finish about Parīkṣit Maharaj. That is the question. And don't stop at what happened at the end of his death. Tell us what happened even after his death. So very thorough question. In one verse, they have asked, tell me everything about Parīkṣit Maharaj. But the way of asking this question is amazing. Can anyone say, what did you notice about like something peculiar that is there, interesting that is there in this question when they have asked about Parīkṣit Maharaj? Can someone point out? What do you notice there? Yes, Mataji. Shama Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So they are glorifying Emperor Parīkṣit while asking the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
This is like a repeated theme in Srimad Bhagavatam, that every time a devotee is talking about some other devotee or about the Supreme Lord, they are always glorifying them. So this is their inherent quality, that whenever they are talking about other devotees, they will talk something good about them. They will appreciate them. So here it is called, Parīkṣit Mahārāja is called mahā-buddhi, mahā-karmā, and mahātmā. So mahā-buddhi means Parīkṣit Mahārāja, who is highly intelligent, and he has mahan karma, he has great activities he has done, and he is a mahātmā, he is a great devotee. So earlier as well, we have talked about the culture of finding and speaking good qualities. When the sages were talking about Sutta Goswami, like in the first chapter, we talked about this culture that is there. And sorry, Sutta Goswami also appreciated some Shaunakadi rishis. And here also we can see the same thing. They could have just said that tell us about Maharaj Parīkṣit, how he was born, how he died, and what happened after his death. But no, they are taking this opportunity that I'm remembering Parīkṣit Maharaj and I want to hear about him. Let me actually take this opportunity to appreciate him. So every opportunity that they find, they will use it for appreciating the devotees. In the purport also, Srila Prabhupada is talking about that Parīkṣit Maharaj was saved at birth. So this is a very wonderful purport actually. And if you see my purport, there are many lines which I have underlined in this, because Srila Prabhupada talks about birth and death and what happened, everything. Like he has given a summary of Parīkṣit Maharaj's life and how he was fortunate. So Parīkṣit Maharaj was saved at birth, and he could have easily invoked Lord's mercy when he was cursed to die in 7 days. But he didn't do that. So Srila Prabhupada says that pure devotees, they do not ask anything undue for themselves. So Parīkṣit Maharaj, when he was cursed, he thought that everyone has to die at one time. So my death is coming in this way, so I will accept it. And further reasons Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that Parīkṣit Maharaj also understood that Kali Yuga has started. And the first sign of the Kali Yuga is the degradation of highly talented Brahmana community. So he did not want to interfere with the current of time. And it is mentioned, Srila Prabhupada says, he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. So cheerfully, he was happy that this is what is happening. He was not worried about that I am dying or whatever. And very properly. Why properly? Because he gave up everything and he spent those 7 days in hearing Krishna Katha. So that is how it is mentioned that how Parīkṣit Maharaj's birth, death, and what happened after the death, like in summary, Srila Prabhupada has given in that purport. Let us move on to the third verse. Tadidam shrotumichhamo gaditum yadi manyase bruhina shraddadhananam yasya jnanam adachukaha. Shivani Mataji, you have been raising your hand for some time. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharaj Parīkṣit, to whom Shukadev Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter.
So we want to hear about him who was given transcendental knowledge by Shukadev Goswami. That is what they are asking. So they have also talked about the death but also tell more elaborately about the transcendental knowledge which was given by Shukadeva Goswami to Parīkṣit Mahārāja. They did not mention specifically that tell us about what he mentioned, but they have pointed out that Parīkṣit Mahārāja, that great personality who received transcendental knowledge from Shukadeva Goswami, we want to hear about him. Purport, again another amazing purport. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this is amazing line. I'll read it from purport. It is around third or fourth line from the beginning. The effect of such a bona fide hearing and chanting of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and the chanter. Both of them were benefited. This is the beauty of the process of bhakti. Both the speaker and the hearer got benefited from hearing and chanting of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It is not like some water pot where some water was, and now that water was poured into another pot, and the first pot became empty and the other pot became full. So when the transcendental knowledge is given, it is not like water going from one pot to another where one pot becomes empty. In the spiritual process, when the knowledge is given by guru to disciple, it is not only the disciple who's getting benefited, but the guru is also making progress. He is also getting benefited. And it is not that the guru become empty. Now the knowledge is gone. Guru has now no knowledge left because the knowledge was given to the disciple. No, that knowledge also remains, that grows. And the disciple's knowledge also grows. So the Shravanam and Kirtanam. So out of the 9 processes, Shravanam and Kirtanam are these first two processes. And Parīkṣit Mahārāja is exemplar or the best example of hearing. At the same time, Shukadeva Goswami is the best example of Kirtanam, of speaking of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And both are doing devotional service. Hearing is also devotional service and speaking is also devotional service. And both get benefited. So it is not only that Parīkṣit Mahārāja wasn't aware of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam knowledge and he received Śrīmad Bhāgavatam knowledge from Shukadeva Goswami. Shaunakādi rishis received it from Suta Goswami. So they were very fortunate. Shaunaka Rishi and the other rishis who were gathered there and Parīkṣit Mahārāja who was hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Yes, they are glorious that they heard Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and they got benefited. But at the same time, Suta Goswami and Shukadeva Goswami, who are speaking Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, they also progress more towards Krishna by speaking Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. They are already pure devotees, but still they became, like they did devotional service by speaking, so they became more and more pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very important point to understand, that both the hearer and both of them were benefited, hearer and chanter. Verse number 4. Suta uvacha api palat dharmarajaha pitruvat ranjayan prajaha nispruhak sarva kamebhya Krishna padanu sevaya. Yes, Gaur Chandra Prabhuji or Mataji, who's...
Suta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthir administered generously to everyone during his regime. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, actually the question was asked about Parīkṣit Mahārāja. And when Suta Goswami started speaking, he again started speaking about Yudhishthir Maharaj. So it is quite confusing that why he is now talking about Yudhishthir Maharaj when the question was specifically about Parīkṣit Mahārāja. So our Acharya has explained, now in these 3 verses which are coming, 4, 5 and 6, 4th verse is going to talk about Yudhishthir Maharaj's qualities, 5th verse about Yudhishthir Maharaj's opulence, and then 6th verse about his detachment from all of that opulence because of his attachment to Krishna. So these 3 verses are coming to explain the family background where Parīkṣit Maharaj is going to be born. The glorious family background, how devotional that family was. And we already know about Yudhishthira Maharaj, but this is like a summary in 3 verses, which is coming of Yudhishthira Maharaj's glories, his qualities, opulence, and his detachment. So in this first verse, 4th verse, which is talking about qualities, it is mentioned that he administered generously to everyone. And Srila Prabhupada emphasizes in his purport, long purport, Srila Prabhupada has written, to talk about that the kings are supposed to take care of everyone, not just the human beings, but also the aquatics, the reptiles, the plants, the birds, and everyone. Everyone needs to be looked after. So that is how the kings are supposed to administer generously. And then it is mentioned that he was just like a father to all the subjects, for all his subjects. Just like a father looks after their children, Yudhishthira Maharaj was looking after his subjects. And his citizens were pleased. The citizens liked his activities, and his policies were like that the citizens were pleased by the government. Now, such government is so difficult to find nowadays, right? Anyone says nowadays that, oh, I am happy with the taxes that I have been charged. They are just sufficient. They are perfect. This 40% tax that I'm paying, 33% I'm paying, plus I'm paying rates, I'm paying GST and all of those. Like almost like 50% of your money or even more than that actually goes in taxes nowadays. And that is why everyone is unhappy. But in Vedic times, the taxes were 25% maximum. 25% are the taxes total that will be charged. So, and all of that money will be utilized in welfare of the people. And people were able to see that, and that's why they were quite happy with the governance. And it is mentioned that he was free from all sorts of personal desires for sense gratification. Yudhishthira Maharaj was free from personal desires for sense gratification. And it was possible because of Krishna Pada Anusevaya. All of these qualities were present in Yudhishthira Maharaj because of this one main quality, which is Krishna Pada Anusevaya, his continuous service unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. It is continuous. Ahaituki apratihata. We have talked about that before. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was doing ahaituki apratihata bhakti. It is a continuous service which he was doing at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. And because of that, all these good qualities are supposed to come. The devotees, they, by this one quality of becoming a devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, all the other good qualities manifest in them. So that is how the qualities are mentioned for Yudhishthira Maharaj. Verse number 5. Sampada kritavo loka mahishi bhrataro mahi jambudvipa adipatyam cha yashascha tridivam gatam. Yes, Vidushi Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaja Yudhishthir's worldly possessions, sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, and his fame, etc.
Thank you, Mataji. So here the opulence of Yudhishthira Maharaj is mentioned. Generally, we hear about the news of more prosperous area. And we are thinking, wow, that place is such an amazing place. It has this, it has that, and everything which we do not have here. So, in general, people are always thinking about what will be there in the heavenly planets and how it will be glorious, how it will be very opulent. But here in this verse, it is mentioned that even the celestial planets, the people were thinking about Maharaj Yudhishthira's opulence here on the earthly planet. So news of his wealth, fame, sacrifices, and the destination that he will be getting from those sacrifices, his queens, his brothers, the powerful brothers, beautiful queen, and the land and the lordship over Jambudvipa, that reached even the higher planets. So Yudhishthir Maharaja's activities were so glorious, his qualities and his activities were so glorious that even the people in the higher planet were hearing his pastimes and his glories, and they were waiting to welcome Yudhishthir Maharaj to their planets, thinking that Yudhishthir Maharaj will come to our planet. So they are waiting for Yudhishthir Maharaj to come, because it is not that the Yudhishthir Maharaj will get something better by going to the planet, higher planet. Those planets will gain something by having a pure devotee like Yudhishthir Maharaj on their planet. So that is how much Yudhishthir Maharaj is glorious. He is so opulent. So that is mentioned in this verse about his opulence. Next verse is talking about now his detachment. Kim te kama suras parha mukunda manaso dvijaha adhi jarhur mudam radnya shudhitasya yathetare. Go ahead, Mataji.
O Brahmanas, the opulence of king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service.
So even the denizens of heaven, they wanted the opulence enjoyed by Yudhishthir Maharaj. But what about Yudhishthir Maharaj? Was he enjoying that opulence? Was he interested in it? So it is mentioned that he was not interested. And why that was the case? Because he was satisfied by Mukunda Manaso. It is mentioned that his mind was on Mukunda. So he is Mukunda Manaso. His mind is always engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. And that is why he was not interested in anything else. He was getting all his satisfaction, his happiness from the service of the Lord. And that is why he was not interested in this material sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada talks elaborately about the material enjoyment and spiritual enjoyment. Towards the middle, actually in the second paragraph, he says, the second line, the hunger is for the spiritual atmosphere. Like everyone has some hunger. And actually the real hunger that we have is for the spiritual atmosphere. And that spiritual atmosphere is actually going to give us some satisfaction. But unfortunately, we do not understand that what we are hungry for. And we try to satisfy that hunger in the wrong way. So we have spiritual hunger, but we try to satisfy that through material sense gratification, because we don't realize what kind of hunger that we have. So we try to have more and more sense gratification, material sense gratification, and we still are not getting satisfied. And we are wondering why we are not getting satisfied. Because we are trying to satisfy that in a wrong way. We are in illusion. And Srila Prabhupada specifically points out, even the people who are most sumptuously materially satisfied are still hungry. So if the material opulence, material sense enjoyment was going to give us satisfaction, then those rich people who have a lot of wonderful tasty food, they have all the kind of sense gratification that is available in the world at their service, and still they are not satisfied. If material sense enjoyment was going to give satisfaction, they would have been satisfied. But seeing that they themselves are not satisfied, we can understand that the material sense enjoyment is not going to give satisfaction. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is showing by his own example that he had everything, all the enjoyment that was possible, he had access to it, but he was still detached from all of that. And this was possible only because he was attached to something higher than material sense enjoyment, which was the devotional service for the Lord. So this is the wonderful family background for Parīkṣit Maharaj. This is the family where Parīkṣit Maharaj is going to be born, where his grandfathers are such glorious people. Arjuna, who is the one who received the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from Lord Shri Krishna, who is a dear friend of Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj, to whom Lord Shri Krishna pays obeisances to, considering him as an elder cousin. And of course, he is a pure devotee as well. And we can see that Yudhishthira Maharaj was how he was detached because he was attached to Lord's service. So in such wonderful family that Parīkṣit Maharaj is going to be born. And that is where now Parīkṣit Maharaja's birth is explained in the next few verses, 7 to 11. Marturgarbhagato viraha satada bhrugunandana Tadarsha purusham kasched dahyamano astra tejasa. Surananda.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. O son of Bhrigu, Saunaka, when the child Parīkṣit, the great fighter, was in the womb of his mother Uttara and was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmāstra thrown by Aśvatthāmā, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him.
So when Parīkṣit Maharaj was suffering from the heat of the Brahmāstra in the womb of his mother, he was able to see the Supreme Lord. Now the child who's in the womb, he is already in a pain. He's in upside down position. He's very in a congested place. On top of that, now he's getting burning sensation. Like it is not like little heat that it is coming. It is the heat of Brahma Tejasa. So it is very high temperature, which is getting unbearable temperature of the Brahmāstra he is having. And at that time, he was able to see the Supreme Lord. So Parīkṣit Maharaj got the first darshan within the womb. Isn't that amazing? Like devotees, when they come out of the womb, then they do some sadhana and then they get the darshan of the Supreme Lord. But Parīkṣit Maharaj got the darshan inside the womb. The earliest darshan possible for anyone. So Parīkṣit Maharaj was so fortunate that he got the darshan of the Supreme Lord in the womb. And it's quite interesting that he's called a Veera. Now he's such a small baby in the womb. He is quite helpless, but he's still called a Veer. He's like a fighter. Why? Srila Prabhupada explains that he is called fighter because he was fighting with the heat of Brahmāstra. Of course, Lord helped him, but it is the child as well is fighting. He's enduring the unbearable temperature of the Brahmāstra. And that is why he's called Veera. And he saw that the Lord is protecting him. So let us see now what he exactly saw. This Supreme Personality of Godhead that he has seen inside the womb. Now the next few verses are going to explain the description of the Lord that he saw within the womb.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I ask
Yes.
a question before
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Prabhuji, in purport, the first line says death generally involves remaining in trance for 7 months. What does that mean, Prabhuji?
Actually, Srila Prabhupada explains below. He says, a living being, according to his own action, is allowed to enter into the womb of a mother by the vehicle of father's semen, and thus he develops his desired body. So there is a time period between the death and coming to a consciousness where he is able to see the Supreme Lord. So in that period, there is around a 7 months period in which he is in trance. And when the trance opens, here it is mentioned afterwards that after that, then when the child comes into little bit more consciousness, then he starts praying if he's fortunate. So he's in a trance. It is like in the trance is when he is not doing anything. In a samadhi, generally, when somebody is in samadhi, they are still. So they are in the trance like that. And then when they wake up from that trance, they actually see that, oh, I am in this womb and I am in a congested place and I am in a very difficult situation. And then, if they are fortunate, they start praying to the Supreme Lord. That is what is mentioned here. So I don't know how exactly the 7 month has come from, but it looks like from the death, the previous death, till the time you get some consciousness to start praying, Srila Prabhupada has given this time period as 7 months. I'm sure he has referred to some particular scriptures which we are not aware of here. But he has mentioned that it takes around 7 months in which from the death to getting some consciousness to make some prayers to the Supreme Lord in the womb is a period of 7 months.
So kind of like a sukta avastha, like a
Yeah.
sleeping. Because what I'm thinking, Prabhuji, that not everyone can go in trance, right? All of us have gone in
No,
trance. Do you think?
this trance is a different trance. It is, I gave the example of samadhi trance, but that is not the trance that is. It is like as you are saying, it is
Sleeping,
a
sukta
supta
avastha.
avastha. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Okay. So what kind of form he is seeing, we will see in the next few verses 8, 9, 10. Angushthamatramalam sfurat purat maulinam apivyadarshanam shamam tadid tadidvasasam achyutam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
He, the Lord, was only thumb high, but he was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful, blackish, infallible body, and he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus he was seen by the child. Hare Krishna.
So this verse, Sutta Goswami is explaining how Parīkṣit Maharaj found, like how he saw, what was the form like. So it is said it was just a thumb high. So Parīkṣit Maharaj saw that the Supreme Lord is just a thumb high, Angushta Matram. But he's still Amalam, he's transcendental. And he's wearing a blazing gold crown, Sphurata Purata Maulinam. And he's beautifully blackish, Avipya Darshanam Shamam. And then it is mentioned that he's wearing, he wore yellow clothes resembling like lightning, Tadidavasanam. And finally, he is mentioned as Achyutam, he is infallible Supreme Lord. So he's thumb high, but in the thumb high, Supreme Lord as well is having a crown, yellow, blazing clothes like lightning. And in that small form as well, Parīkṣit Maharaj could understand that it is transcendental and he is infallible. So infallible it is mentioned because he was able to, actually it will be explained further as well in the next few verses, that he saw that even though Brahmāstra is all powerful, but the Supreme Lord was easily able to counteract it. And we'll see one analogy that is coming in next few verses. So we'll wait for that. Now further description of his form is mentioned in the next text 9. श्रीमद् दीर्घचतुर्बाहुं तप्तकाञ्चनकुण्डलं क्षतजाक्षं गदापाणिम् आत्मना सर्वतो दिशम् परिभ्रमन्तम् उल्काभां भ्रामयन्तं गदां मुहुः.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. As he loitered about, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. Hare Krishna.
So it is mentioned that this form had 4 hands, and this form of Supreme Lord was wearing earrings of molten gold, and his eyes are mentioned as blood red with fury. The Lord was angry because his devotee was attacked within the womb. See, anyway, Lord will be angry when someone attacks his devotees. But a devotee who is within the womb, like a child within the womb is getting attacked, the Lord becomes even more angry. And that is why the Lord is never happy when the child within the womb is killed. So this is what is mentioned here, that his eyes were blood red with fury. And it is mentioned that as he was wandering around, he was encircling the womb to protect it, constantly encircling. But at the same time, he was encircling with like his gada, like a shooting star. And further it is mentioned that his Lord is unlimited. Srila Prabhupada actually mentions in this purport that talking about the previous verse and this verse together in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Lord is unlimited. And even though he appears in a thumb high, like a very small form, it doesn't make him less of a Supreme Lord. So whether he appears as a thumb high or as a Narayana in the Vaikuntha planet, he still is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. But out of his causeless mercy, he appears in front of Parīkṣit Mahārāja so that in a suitable form, so that he is able to see it. So the Lord takes appropriate form which is suitable for our vision to see him. Just like Archa Vigraha form, the deity form. We are material, like we are completely in the material consciousness. And Lord understands that. We do not have this Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, the eyes which is anointed with the love for the Lord at this moment, which can see the spiritual form of the Lord. So that is why the Lord appears as Archa Vigraha in the deity form. He accepts the form which is made of some material elements, like some either metal, wood, clay, stone. And in that form, he gives us darshan, because that form is suitable for our eyes to see. Similarly here, Parīkṣit Mahārāja, within the womb, received the darshan of the Lord in a suitable format because of his mercy. Let us look at further verse, 10th. Asra teja swagadaya niharam iva gopatihi vidhamantam sannikershe paryakshat ka ityasau.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Lord was thus engaged in vanishing the radiation of the Brahmāstra. Just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew, he was observed by the child who thought about who he was. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, now Parīkṣit Mahārāja is seeing how the Lord is vanquishing, he is destroying the Brahmāstra and protecting him. So 10th and 11th, he is seeing his, like, further things are described, what he's seeing. So in this verse, it is mentioned that he saw that the Lord is destroying the radiation of Brahmāstra. And it was not that Lord had to actually put a lot of effort to counteract that Brahmāstra. It is mentioned that Lord easily destroyed that Brahmāstra. Just like this example, the analogy which is given, just as the sun evaporates a drop of a dew. Sun is so powerful, and the drops of the dew which are on the plants, they immediately evaporates when the sun comes up. And the sun doesn't have to actually put like a lot of effort for evaporating those drops. So similarly, the Lord easily counteracted the Brahmāstra, even though it is the invincible weapon in the material world. There is no counteraction that is possible for the Brahmāstra by any other astra. So such a Brahmāstra as well, the Lord easily counteracted, just like a sun evaporates the drop of dew. And seeing this, Parīkṣit Mahārāja wondered, who is this person who is so beautiful and who is trying to protect me? So this is the first thought that came into Parīkṣit Mahārāja's mind. By seeing that person protecting him, who is this? 11th verse. Vidhuya tadaye yatma Bhagavan dharma gup vibhu Mishato dashamasasya Tatraivantar dadhe harihi. Who's next? Go ahead, Uma Mataji, Vidushi Mataji.
While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once.
Thank you, Mataji. So while Parīkṣit was observing the Lord, again, while explaining that, now Lord is glorified. While Parīkṣit was observing the Lord, who is, it is mentioned, all-pervading super soul. He is Ameyatma. Ameyatma is mentioned here, that Ameyatma means all-pervading super soul. And he is the protector of righteous. He is Dharmagup. And who spreads in all direction. Dashamasasya. So 10 directions are there. So he spreads in all directions. And such Supreme Lord, while Parīkṣit Mahārāja was observing him, he disappeared at once. And Srila Prabhupada explains very nicely in the purport, like 5-6 lines from the bottom of the purport, starting from his disappearance. Can you find that? His disappearance from the sight. Yeah. Go ahead, Mataji.
His disappearance from the sight of the child, Parīkṣit, does not mean that he appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there, and even after his disappearance, he was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. This material
thank you.
covering.
So it is mentioned that the Lord is everywhere. So when he appears and disappears, it doesn't mean that when he appears, that doesn't mean he wasn't there before and now that he is appearing there. And when he's disappearing from the sight, it doesn't mean that he is not present there. So it is mentioned he was present there even after the disappearance. So within the womb, before he appeared, he was present. And after he disappeared, he was still present. So it was just that Parīkṣit Mahārāja was not able to see him anymore. He was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. This is such an important point that Srila Prabhupada has emphasized here. We are saying that, oh, Parīkṣit Mahārāja was able to see him, now he disappeared or whatever. But he was present before he was seen, and he is present even after he disappeared from there. Lord is there everywhere, and he is protecting us from all directions because he is Dashamasasya, and he is protector of the righteous. If you are a righteous person, you will be protected. He is the Dharmagup, and he is within you as well as a super soul, as Ameyatma. Very, very wonderful. There are so many things that we can learn about Vaishnava culture from these 11 verses that we have seen till now. Let us see some of those points which we have already discussed, but here we are putting them all together. First thing that we understand is that Vaishnava's main good quality is that they relish Krishna Katha. Even when Suta Goswami digressed from the main topic, Shaunakadi Rishis were happy to hear the Katha as it was related to Lord Shri Krishna and his devotees. So that is one of the important part of the Vaishnava culture, that the Vaishnavas relish Krishna Katha. So all of these points we are talking about is also to understand how we can create that Vaishnava culture around us. If we start relishing the Krishna Katha and create a culture where Krishna Katha is at the center, and we all can sit together and hear about Lord Shri Krishna, about Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, about his devotees, then we are actually creating that culture of Vaishnava culture. And the second point is, Vaishnavas takes every opportunity to glorify other devotees. In the material world, we see that every opportunity is taken to find faults in others. Vaishnavas are exactly opposite. They take every opportunity to glorify other devotees. Even while asking question, Shaunaka Rishi is taking the opportunity to glorify Parīkṣit Mahārāja. So we have to actually imbibe. This is an internal quality that we have to develop. Why we should find fault in others? Do we not have enough faults in ourselves? Then if you really want to find fault, then look at those faults within yourself instead of looking at somebody else. So take every opportunity to glorify other devotees. Find something good and appreciate them. The third point that we can see is that in the association of devotees, everyone progresses towards Krishna. So this is based on that where we saw that not only the hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam was benefited, but even the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam benefited. So in the association of devotees, everyone is going to progress. They are going to go closer and closer to Krishna. They are going to become more and more dear to Krishna. So this is one of the important characteristic of a Vaishnava culture, that everyone is progressing towards Krishna. If someone is little falling off, then other people are helping them. Other devotees are helping them. They are trying to help them to again come back on the track. They are trying to help to keep them in Krishna consciousness and try to take them closer and closer to Krishna. And one final point, actually there are many things about Vaishnava culture, but I'm just talking about these 11 verses that we saw. These 4 points actually popped out for me for this culture. So I'm listing it. The last one is attached to the service of the Lord. So they are Mukunda Manaso. The devotees are Mukunda Manaso. So they have, even if they have lot of opulence, they are always attached to the Supreme Lord. And then whatever they have, they will utilize it in Krishna's service. So it is not that opulence is given up by the devotees. Whatever opulence that they have, whatever qualities, whatever skills, whatever material things that they have, they will use those in service of Krishna because their focus is on Krishna. They are Mukunda Manaso. They are always trying to serve Krishna in some way or the other. So this is the culture of Vaishnavas. They are always relishing Krishna Katha. They are always utilizing everything that they have in Krishna's service. They are always taking opportunity to glorify other devotees. They are not envious of each other. They are appreciative of each other. And that is how everyone progresses towards Krishna. And this kind of atmosphere is a Vaikuntha atmosphere. It's a Goloka atmosphere. When the devotees are serving together, appreciating and pushing each other towards Krishna, that kind of atmosphere is what pleases Krishna the most. So we cannot actually go to Krishna alone. We require help of all the other devotees. And that culture of devotion, we can play a little small part. And when that actually gathers momentum, then all the other devotees around us will push us forward towards Krishna, and we can push them forward towards Krishna, and we all can go towards Krishna like that if there is a strong culture around us for love and devotion for the Supreme Lord. So this is what our goal is. Srila Prabhupada established this ISKCON organization for this purpose. He says in the purport, in Nectar of Instruction, where in that verse of 6 loving exchanges, the Dati Pratigranati, Guyama Khyati Prachati, Bhungte Bhojayate Chaiva, Shadvidha, Priti Lakshanam. There he says that Krishna Consciousness Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he has established for these 6 loving exchanges between devotees. Isn't it? So that is the culture that we have to develop, and that can start from us. We cannot say that, oh, such and such devotee in our congregation is not having these Vaishnava qualities which are mentioned here. No, don't worry about others. You start with yourself. If we start imbibing these qualities, then slowly that will be passed on to others. And they will also, other people will also catch, and everyone can progress towards Krishna like this. Okay, let us move on. Any questions or comments here? Like those hands are still for reading? Okay, fine. Let us go on to the next verse, verse number 13. Oh no, 12. 12 we haven't taken. Oh yeah. 12 we haven't taken yet. Yeah. Verse number 12. Tata sarvagunodharke sanukula grahodaya jadne vamshadhara pandur bhuya pandur ivojasa. Go ahead. Who's next? Uma Mataji, Vidushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. The next verse, Sudharma Mataji, Sudharma Prabhu can do, and the next one, Shivani Mataji can do. But before we go ahead, so here, Parīkṣit Mahārāja's birth is explained. And it is mentioned that when all the good signs of zodiac gradually evolved, Parīkṣit was born. So he was protected within the womb, and now he is like when all the signs of zodiac gradually evolved, then at that point, Parīkṣit Mahārāja was born. And it is mentioned that he was as strong as Pandu. Okay, 13th verse. Tasya pritama raja vipraya dhaumya kripadibihi jatakam karayamasa vacha itvacha mangalam.
King Yudhishthira, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaja Parīkṣit, had the purificatory process of birth performed. Learned Brahmanas, headed by Dhaumya and Kripa, recited auspicious hymns. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madam. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very, very happy with Parīkṣit Maharaja's birth. And he invited Dhaumya, Rishi, Kripacharya to perform the purificatory rites, Jata Karma. Jata Karma, that is one of the 16 samskaras. And he invited Dhaumya, Rishi and Kripacharya to perform those rites. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about various different purificatory processes which are there, like Garbhadan Samskar, which is done even before the child is born, like even before when the married couple comes together to have a good child, before that, this Garbhadan Samskar is done. And there are many other samskaras, there's the Pumsavana, then Simantonayana, then Shadabhakshanam. Then when this child is born, at that time this Jata Karma is mentioned in the verse, birth ceremony. Then after that Namakaran Samskara is done, then Annaprashan Samskara is done. Then over a period of time some Vidya Arambha, Upanayana, many samskaras are like done. And then Vivaha Samskar is also done. And then finally Anta Samskar is done. So there are 16 samskaras from before the birth and until the end, which is the death. 16 samskaras are mentioned. And Varnashram Dharma prescribed these 16 samskaras to purify the person. But because in the Kali Yuga, hardly anyone does any samskaras, that is why it is mentioned that in Kali Yuga, almost everyone is like a Shudra. Only when you actually perform these samskaras, you actually rise above from the Shudra category. But because these samskaras are not done, they are almost everyone is considered as Shudra. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that Parīkṣit Maharaj invited Dhaumya Rishi and Kripacharya for performing these because they were very exalted. But in the current day and age, such good Brahmanas are hard to find, who knows the mantras properly, who knows how to perform these samskaras. And that is why he's saying, Srila Prabhupada is saying that for the Kali Yuga, Pancharatrika formulas to the Vedic rites are given. So if you see the second last paragraph or the second paragraph on top, there are 3 paragraphs. So second paragraph, the last line, Srila Prabhupada says that Pancharatrika Vidhi is given. So of the deity worship, some rules and regulations which are given, which are not as complicated as the 16 samskaras. So that can be done. And that can purify us, that can uplift us. And of course, there is The Bhagavad Vidhi is also there of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all of those 9 processes. Those can also uplift us and make us a Vaishnava. So these things will actually uplift. Pancharatrika Vidhi will uplift us from Shudra to Brahmana, but the Bhagavad Vidhi will uplift us to become a Vaishnava. Okay, let us move on. 14th verse. Hiranyam gam mahim gramam hastyashwan nrupatirvaran pradat svanna cha viprebhya prajatirthe satirthavet.
On the birth of a son, the king, who knew how, where, and when charity should be given, gave gold, land, villages, elephants, horses, and good food grains to the Brahmanas.
Thank you, Maharaj. So Yudhishthir Maharaj, it is mentioned that he knew how, where, and when the charity should be given. Very, very important point is mentioned. How, where, and when the charity should be given. And what kind of charity he gave? He gave gold, land, villages, elephants, horses, and good food grains to the Brahmanas. It is exactly opposite to what people in Kali Yuga give. So even in the shops in India, in the grocery shops, you can just tell them that you want some rice for puja, and they will give you the smallest rice available in the shop, which is the cheapest, because they are thinking, this has to be just given up, right? So let's use the cheapest rice. But here it is mentioned that the best good food grains were given to the Brahmanas. So whatever you are able to give, whatever your capacity is, as per that, you have to actually give best things possible in charity. So that is why, because he was a king, he was able to give gold, he was able to give land, he was able to give the entire village in a charity. This entire village is yours. And not only cows, he's giving up elephants as well. I don't know what Brahmanas are going to go do with the elephants. It will be so hard to look after the elephant, but definitely he's giving a lot of gold as well and servants along with the elephant. Probably, yeah, Brahmanas can take the elephants and use them for the procession of the Supreme Lord in the temple. So that is how he may be. That's why he's giving elephants, horses, good food grains to all of them. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the purport that in this way, the Brahmanas in Yudhishthir Maharaja's kingdom, they were not poor. They were looked after properly. And that is why they were able to focus. They would simply devote themselves to the well-being of the entire society. That is their main activity. Brahmana's main activity is to actually look after, to train, and to take them towards the Supreme Lord. But they can only do that activity if all these basic necessities for them are taken care of. And kings like Yudhishthir Maharaj are taking care of all of those things. That's why they are easily able to look after their main duty, which is to devote themselves to the well-being of the entire society. The society is looking after them, and they are looking after the society. It's a perfect, nice reciprocation that is happening. And about the donations and the charity, which I talked about. So Bhagavad Gita, as you all know, we have seen that before in the 17th chapter, 20th, 21st, and 22nd verse. That mentions about the charity in mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So charity in goodness is charity given out of duty and without expectation of anything receiving in return. And it should be done in proper time and place and to a worthy person. That is called the charity which is in mode of goodness. And the charity which is performed with the expectation that I will get something back. With a desire for fruitive activities, fruitive results. And it is done in a grudging mood that I don't want to give, but now someone is asking me and I'm forced to give. So because in that grudging mood, if someone is giving, then that is a mode of passion. And the charity which is performed at an impure place, like a wrong place, wrong time, to the wrong person, without proper attention or respect, is called the charity in ignorance. So Parīkṣit Maharaj knew what is the best charity, what is the best time. So all of these samskaras, 16 samskaras which were mentioned, so those are some of the best times, like when you are doing some pujas, when you are doing some yajna, when you are doing some samskaras, like birth or even birthdays. At that time is when you can give charity to the right people, which is to give to sannyasis, to brahmanas, to devotees, anyone who is engaged in Krishna conscious activity, you can give charity. Right places, either when you go to the holy dham, or you go to the temple, or anywhere the activities of Krishna consciousness are happening, that is the right place for giving charity. So by following these things, how, when, and whom to give, we actually perform some devotional service if you are engaging your wealth in Krishna consciousness. Let us move ahead. Which verse we are on? 15. तमुचुर्ब्राह्मणास्तुष्टा राजानं प्रश्रयान्वितम् एष ह्यस्मिन् प्रजातन्तो पुरुणां पौरवर्षभा.
The learned Brahmanas, who were very satisfied with the charities of the king, addressed him as the chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of descent from the Purus. Hare Krishna.
So Brahmanas were very satisfied by the charities that they received. So they were not looking at things and they were thinking, "Arey, itna hi diya, he's a king." They are very satisfied. Actually, one of the qualities of the Brahmanas is that they are satisfied. So whatever they receive, they will be satisfied. It is not that because king has given so much, that is why they are satisfied. Of course, that is one of the things, that Yudhishthira Maharaj has given so much that no one can be unsatisfied. But even without that as well, Brahmanas are by nature satisfied, so they would have been satisfied anyway. So anyway, here it is mentioned that the Brahmanas were satisfied and they were happy by the charity which was given by Yudhishthira Maharaj. And they said that the child was certainly in the line of the Purus. So let us look at the next one. Now they are talking further about Parīkṣit Maharaj. Daivena pratighatena shukle samsthamupeyushi rato anugraharthaya Viṣṇuna prabha Viṣṇuna.
The Brahmanas said, "The spotless sun has been restored by the all-powerful and all-pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by the irresistible supernatural weapon."
So Parīkṣit Maharaj was doomed to be destroyed by the Brahmāstra. There was no way of Parīkṣit Maharaj to be saved, because Brahmāstra, as we have talked multiple times, is irresistible in this material world. And he was going to be destroyed. He was doomed to be destroyed. But he was restored and protected by whom? By Lord Vishnu, Prabhu Vishnu, who is all powerful and all pervasive. He could even go inside the womb and protect him. And the Lord protected him for two reasons, it is mentioned here. Srila Prabhupada mentions there are two reasons. One, the first reason is that the child in the womb of his mother was spotless due to his being a pure devotee of the Lord. So Lord Shri Krishna protected him because he is a pure devotee. Parīkṣit Maharaj is spotless and he is a pure devotee. And the second reason is that the child was the only surviving male descendant of Puru, the pious forefather of the virtuous king Yudhishthira. So he did it to oblige Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is also a pure devotee. Lord wanted to continue this lineage of pious kings. So for these two reasons, that Lord Shri Krishna protected Parīkṣit Maharaj in the womb. 17th verse. Tasman namna Viṣṇurāta iti loke bhavishyati na sandeho mahabhaga mahabhagavato mahan. Who's next? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. Ashoka Mataji.
For this reason, the child will be well known in the world as one who is protected by the personality of Godhead. O most fortunate one, there is no doubt that this child will become a first-class devotee and will be qualified with all good qualities. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. So for this reason, he will be called Viṣṇurāta. So that is one of the names of Parīkṣit Mahārāja. He is called Viṣṇurāta. Viṣṇurāta means one who is protected by the personality of Godhead himself. And Brahmana said that he will become a first-class devotee. And he will have all good qualities. So Brahmanas are able to foresee this. They are going to also say so many things about Parīkṣit Mahārāja and his good qualities, which is coming up. But here it is mentioned, they have just given a summary that he will be called Viṣṇurāta, he will be first-class devotee, and he will have all good qualities. All these other good qualities are secondary, considering that he is going to be the first-class devotee. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Krishna protects everyone. But depending on the different grades of living entities, he engages various different potencies that he have for their protection. But for his pure devotees, but as far as his unalloyed devotees are concerned, he gives the protection personally. So, because Parīkṣit Mahārāja was a pure devotee, he came himself personally to protect him. He is a Bhakta Vatsala. And then further in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the three levels of devotees, Kanishtha, Madhyama, and Uttama. Let us read that. So there are three grades of devotees from there. Surananda Prabhu, can you find that in the purport? There are three grades of devotees.
In the middle of the paragraph, yeah, there are three grades of devotees, namely the Mahā-Bhagavata, Madhyama Adhikari, and the Kanishta Adhikari. Those who go to the temples of the Lord and offer worshipful respect to the deity without sufficient knowledge in the theological science and therefore without any respect for the devotees of the Lord are called materialistic devotees or Kanishta Adhikari, the third grade devotees. Secondly, the devotees who have developed a mentality of genuine service to the Lord and who thus make friendships only with similar devotees, show favor to the neophyte and avoid the atheists are called the second grade devotees. But those who see everything in the Lord or everything of the Lord and also see in everything an eternal relation of the Lord, so that there is nothing within their purview of sight except the Lord, are called the Mahā-Bhagavatas or the first grade devotees of the Lord. Such first grade devotees of the Lord are perfect in all respects. A devotee who may be in any of these categories is automatically qualified by all good qualities, and thus a Mahā-Bhagavata devotee like Mahārāja Parīkṣit is certainly perfect in all respects. And because Mahārāja Parīkṣit took his birth in the family of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, he is addressed herein as the Mahā-Bhagavata or the greatest of the fortunates. The family in which a Mahā-Bhagavata takes his birth is fortunate because due to the birth of a first grade devotee, the members of the family, past, present and future, up to 100 generations, become liberated by the grace of the Lord, out of respect for his beloved devotee. Therefore, the highest benefit is done to one's family simply by becoming an unalloyed devotee of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhu. So the paragraph here that we read, Srila Prabhupada is giving a summary of the three levels of the devotees. Kanishtha is a devotee who acknowledge the Supreme Lord. They go to the temple to worship They will perform all the rituals perfectly. They will try to perform all the rituals perfectly. They will even become proud of all the shlokas that they know, the way that they are performing their worship of the Supreme Lord. But the problem is that they are ignoring and they are not even acknowledging the other devotees. So they acknowledge the Supreme Lord, but do not acknowledge the devotees at all. So they are Kanishta. They are at the lowest level. They are still devotees because they are serving the Supreme Lord. Madhyama is like a higher level. They show prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha. So love for the Supreme Lord, maitri to the devotees, kripa to the innocent people, and upeksha of envious people. So they ignore the envious people. They give mercy to the innocent people by giving them Krishna consciousness, and they make friendships only with the devotees, and they give their love for the Supreme Lord, and they are called Madhyamadhikaris. And then Uttama, Mahabhagavata devotees, they see the Lord everywhere and in everyone. So they see everyone is a devotee. So the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari all are acknowledging Krishna as their worshipable Supreme Lord. But the difference in them is mainly in terms of how they look at the devotees. Kanishta Adhikari does not acknowledge a devotee. Madhyamadhikari acknowledges the devotee and a non-devotee. Like he differentiates between devotee and non-devotee. And Uttamadhikari sees everyone as a devotee. So that is their main difference. And it is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the end, the family of the Uttamadhikari is also benefited. And it is mentioned that the 100 generation past, present, and future, they become liberated by the grace of the Lord out of respect for his beloved devotee. So how you can give the highest benefit to your family? Just by simply becoming a pure devotee. Just it's a simple thing. You just become a pure devotee and 100 generation past, present, and future, they are also going to be liberated. So most of the people in the material world, they are worried about and they are thinking about how I can do as best as possible for my family. Here is the formula. You can only do some material things for your family. You can leave behind some wealth for your next generation, whatever. But here it is talked about 100 generations, past, present, and future. You can't do much like materialistically for the previous generation. But here, 100 generation past, present, and future, you can benefit just by becoming Uttamadhikari, because the Lord is going to take care of all of them. They are going to live, going to be liberated. So we can learn few things, like two things from this set of verses. Charity and goodness, we saw that it should be given at a proper time, place, and to a worthy person. We saw proper time means occasions of like this birth, birthdays, other samskaras which are done, or some yagya, puja that is done, or even at the death in the family at that time is a good time to actually give charity. What is a good place? Like holy places, temples, where any Krishna conscious activities are happening. That's a good place. And who's a worthy person? A Vaishnava, a Brahmana, or a sannyasi who's engaged in Krishna consciousness is a good person to give charity. And that will be a charity in goodness, without, like, as a duty, without expecting anything in return. And we also just saw the highest benefit for the family. How we can do that? The highest benefit is done to one's family simply by becoming an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. And what happens? 100 generations are liberated by the mercy of the Lord for a pure devotee. We are actually going to pause here today. I know it is only 10:30 and it is uncharacteristic of me to finish it early. But I have only prepared till 17th verses because of lack of time. Sorry for that. So I'm going to take the remaining verses in the next session that we will take. So anyone has any reflections, summary points, or any questions, comments on the verses that we have seen till the 17th verse, you can go ahead. Yes, Vidushi Mataji, Uma Mataji.
I just like the point, Prabhuji, that we have to take every opportunity to praise devotees around us. And like in every, literally in every slokam, somebody is getting praised. So
That's right, isn't it? So this is such an important point and such a simple thing. It doesn't even cost anything to us. But the words of appreciation are so expensive that they even don't even come out of our mouth. We think that, oh, how can I praise that other person? And we are always expecting that somebody should praise us, but we are not ready to praise others. But here, no, like the devotees are not waiting for others to be praising them. They are never expecting respect or praise, but they are always ready to provide respect and praise to others. Such a wonderful characteristics of devotees. We, as practicing devotees, can learn from that and try to see some good points and appreciate them. Thank you, Mataji. That was very, very important point for all of us to imbibe in our life. Sudharma Mataji, Sudharma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful session, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. We have seen like Dhruva Maharaj has been penance for so many months to get the darshan of Krishna. But here Parīkṣit Maharaj, though he said like he will be a devotee in the future, he didn't do any penance or anything at all. But he in the womb of his mother, he got darshan of Krishna. So this is like trying to understand like when is Krishna merciful? Of course, it's his will, but how to understand this, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Krishna.
So that is where we said earlier in the first verse itself that Krishna is Swarat. Swarat means he decides what he wants to do. He is independent. And there is no formula that we can apply for the mercy of the Supreme Lord as well as the mercy of devotees. We cannot say that I have done this much and I require a proportionate mercy from this devotee or the Supreme Lord. And this other devotee has this much, they should get more because that is at the proportion. In that proportion, they should be getting some mercy. Lord is reciprocative, but at the same time, he's Swarat. He can decide when and to whom and how much mercy he should give. So here it is explained that Parīkṣit Mahārāja was fortunate to get the darshan of the Supreme Lord within the womb itself, like earliest possible darshan that anyone could get, he received, and because he's going to be a pure devotee. And actually, Parīkṣit Mahārāja's previous life or whatever is at least I haven't seen anywhere. So clearly, he's one of the associates of the Supreme Lord who is coming from the spiritual world. So he's pure devotee like that. So Nitya Siddha. Plus, the other thing is Yudhishthir Maharaj, Arjuna, and everyone, like they were also pure devotees. So that is where the two reasons which we saw that why Krishna gave the mercy is because Parīkṣit Maharaj himself was spotless and a pure devotee, and also to favor the other pure devotees around him and in his dynasty. So because of that, the mercy came. So we always also say that the mercy of the Supreme Lord will come in our life not because of our own endeavors, but because of the mercy of other devotees, our spiritual masters. And because of them, we will actually get whatever little mercy that we are getting in our life. So this thinking that Dhruva Maharaj did this penance and that is why he got this darshan, actually that was not the case. Because he received the instruction from Narad Muni and to show his favor to Narad Muni, Lord actually gave darshan to Dhruva Maharaj because he's Narad Muni's disciple. And he has given the process, Narad Muni has given the process by which he can see the Supreme Lord. If the Lord doesn't show his darshan, give his darshan to Dhruva Maharaj, then whatever Narad Muni has said will be false. So we have to understand that whatever success that we get in spiritual life, we have to put our endeavor, but it is not mainly because of our endeavor that we get the spiritual success. It is by the mercy of the devotees around us and the mercy of our spiritual masters by which we can make progress.
Prabhuji, in this case, but Parīkṣit Maharaj didn't even have a spiritual master at that time, right? The mercy wasn't from another devotee. So this is like Krishna's, his own wish. Like he actually.
No, not really. See, Uttara came actually asking for mercy and protect Parīkṣit Maharaj. Then, if Parīkṣit Maharaj is killed within the womb, then Pandavas, who are his pure devotees, they will have no heir to continue this dynasty. So even without asking from the Pandavas, he wants to actually show the mercy. So the spiritual masters, I'm mentioning, but the family members here in this case, Parīkṣit Maharaj's family members are also all pure devotees. Like, isn't Parīkṣit Maharaj so fortunate? Like Uttara is there, Draupadi is there, Arjuna is there, Yudhishthir Maharaj is there, Bhishma Dev is there. So many are there in his dynasty, and even other Pandavas like Bhima, Nakula, Sahadev, they are also wonderful devotees. They are also pure devotees. Otherwise, why would Krishna give them the understanding by which they can understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So many devotees are around him, and to show them mercy, he protected Parīkṣit Maharaj.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
That's the extension, Prabhuji. How to understand this Bhagavad Gita, he says, Ye yata mam prapadyante, and as well as his Swarat.
Yeah, Ye yathamam prapadyante, and Swarat is also actually true, na Prabhu. I am saying that Swarat he will use to decide when and how much mercy to give. He is going to actually be merciful to all the devotees. He is going to protect the devotees.
Yeah.
But it may not be in the same way that we expect it to be.
Okay.
He will actually reciprocate differently with the devotees as compared to the atheists and as compared to the Mayavadis and as compared to the other people. So his reciprocation is going to be there. But we cannot say that I have done this much and Krishna, you give me this much.
Okay.
He is independent. He will decide when to give and how much to give his mercy and to whom to give at what time. We cannot say to Krishna, Krishna, I have been in Krishna consciousness 20 years and this other devotee had just come 1 year ago in Krishna consciousness. How come? He is more advanced than me. Okay, what to do? Krishna has given him more mercy somehow or the other. We can be actually just hopeful that if this devotee who is 1 year in Krishna consciousness can get this mercy, I'm sure Krishna will also give me mercy sooner or later.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because he's Bhakta Vassal. He will give, but at the same time, he's Swarat, he's independent. We can't dictate to him. We can't create a formula that we will get at this time and this much. And before someone else. That we cannot dictate to Krishna. Krishna will decide.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Surananda, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji. I like the point, both the speaker and hearer get benefited in the participation of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, everyone gets benefited. So once I was just listening to His Grace Gauranga Prabhu's lecture, and he said there are bronze medal, silver medal, and gold medal in the Bhagavatam class. He said that the gold medal goes to the speaker because he's speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he said the silver medal goes to the person who's asking some questions because he's engaged. He's listening to the class properly, and because of that, he is having some doubts in the mind which he wants to clarify. And by asking the doubts, not only he's getting benefited, other people are also benefited. So he's courageous enough to ask questions. So he gets a silver medal. And the person who's just sitting there in the class, he's not asking any question, he still gets something. He gets a bronze medal. So everyone in the assembly is of Srimad Bhagavatam, they get benefited. It was so nice. I still remember it many years ago, maybe in the beginning of my Krishna consciousness, probably in the first or second year, I may have heard this, but I still remember it so nicely explained. Gaurachandra Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Thank you so much for the nice class. I really liked the point, Prabhuji, when you mentioned about when you were explaining about the Kanishta Madhyam and the Uttama Adhikaris and how they are categorized. Who is Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama is based on how they see the devotees. Now, all three have love for Krishna, but that's not being considered. How they see the devotees and what their relationship, is with the devotee, that really determines whether you are a Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttama. So that's really, really, we know about, this in and out, what's Kanishta, Madhyam, but that's a new perspective for me, that how you see the devotees. And sometimes we tend to take the devotees cheaply. And so that's something that we should not be doing, because Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Vigena Nabujaya, which means we don't know what the Vaishnavas are thinking, saying. So it's really, really, really important for us, for me personally. So thank you so much for that, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. And that also, probably I should clarify a little bit. It is not that their love is equal for the Supreme Lord at Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama Adhikari level. There is also gradation of that love. The Uttama Adhikari is at the Prema level, and the Madhyam Adhikari would have definitely crossed at least the Anartha Nivrutti level and come to Nishtha minimum. And the Kanishta Adhikari will be somewhere between the like the first few stages, like Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivrutti. Somewhere he will be in that stage. So his devotional service to the Supreme Lord is also at a different level. But my point was that he, like all three, are acknowledging the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Their love may be at a different levels, but they still acknowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the main difference that comes is how they treat the devotees around them. That makes a main difference between at what levels they are at. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Shivani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I had the same point with Vidushi Mataji and Surendran Prabhuji mentioned, but in addition, Prabhuji, that Lord takes appropriate form, which is able to see as per the situation, like what that verse number 9, I think, yes. So that was like, we should consider like whatever situation, he is smallest like a thumb and biggest whenever needed. Yeah.
Krishna knows the best in which form to come and give us the darshan. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Aparna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Sorry, my video is playing up. I couldn't be seen. Thank you for wonderful class. I have got 2 questions, Prabhuji.
Oh, only 2 this time, Mataji. Where is the third one?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm trying to cut down my questions because I'm being notorious for my questions these days.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're getting the silver medal, Mataji. Don't worry. When you are asking question, don't be shy.
That's your mercy, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, my first question is around giving charity. You explained wonderfully with the reference to Bhagavad Gita. So we know there are 3 different modes of charity, like in which mode of passion or ignorance or goodness we are performing. But the person who is receiving the charity, is there any categorization as to whether they are receiving it in goodness, passion, or ignorance? Is it like, does that make sense, Prabhuji?
Yeah. And the Bhagavad Gita is not mentioning it specifically, when the person receives the charity, how he behaves. But of course, the modes act on everyone. So the goodness, passion, and ignorance would be also acting on the person who is receiving the charity. But that is why it is mentioned that you, as a giver, has to actually choose a person who's in goodness. That is why the right people who are to be given charity are supposed to be Brahmana, Vaishnava, or Sannyasis who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. So they are either in goodness or pure goodness. So that is your responsibility as a giver of the charity to give the person who's in goodness or pure goodness the charity that you want to give. And that kind of charity will make you progress. So in the mode of ignorance, when it is said that giving the charity to a wrong person, wrong time, wrong place, that means you have chosen a person who is not in goodness. He is either in passion or ignorance. And that kind of person you have given the charity, and that is why your charity is in mode of ignorance. So giving a charity to a person in mode of passion or ignorance, your charity also becomes ignorant. In the passion, possibly you are giving the charity to the right person, mode of goodness person or pure goodness person, but you are giving that for the wrong purpose that you have, because you are thinking something is you are expecting something in the return, or you are giving in a grudging mood, or you are not giving it with respect. Then at that time, then it becomes mode of passion. So definitely, while defining the giver of charity, it is also hinted towards the persons who are receiving the charity, who are in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it is making sense, Prabhuji. The reason I asked you this question was I did something recently and I'm still kind of thinking whether it was right thing to do or not. So I go to a Mataji's place to pluck some flowers for my garland turn. I do not know her much. I just go, and do. So she gave me charity and I wasn't sure whether should I reject it, take it. Ultimately, I took it because she was for simply giving me. So I was thinking the person who's receiving the charity, can they be in certain mode while accepting the charity? That's why my question came. But then you're right.
Yeah.
Whatever you said makes sense, Prabhuji.
So whenever we receive charity, we have to actually make sure that we use it in the proper for proper purpose.
Sure.
So the best thing that we do, for example, if I go for some place for giving lecture or whatever, and earlier when somebody will give me some Lakshmi, I'll say I don't want it. I have like enough by Krishna's mercy. But since I have taken up this service for the temple, I said, okay, guys, give it to me. I will pass it on to Krishna. And all the Lakshmi that comes, I just pass it on to the temple. And that way, I'm not utilizing it for myself. I'm just passing it on in the service of Shri Gaur Nitai. So that is how we can, like, even if we are not pure, even if we are not completely in goodness, we can make sure that the charity which was received can be actually utilized in a proper cause, and that will benefit the giver.
Right.
So that is how we can be a conduit in between.
Wonderful. Yes.
Okay. Right.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's brilliant response. My second question is a bit tricky question, Prabhuji. So, can our mind trick us into getting, a feeling that, oh, I'm in love with Krishna?
Yeah, definitely, Mataji. Mind will trick us. It is not like a possibility. It is a certainty.
Yeah, exactly, Prabhuji. It does. But
It
in
is
this
not a
context, I need some clarity.
Yeah. Mind will definitely trick us, because we read in the scriptures that the practicing devotees have to actually follow all these rules and regulations. But all these rules and regulations are not applicable to the devotee who is at the pure level, is a pure devotee. So for them, it is not applicable. And we think that I am already at the prema level. I have love for Krishna, and I am at the pure level, so I don't have to actually follow the rules and regulation. Actually, when the scriptures say that they are not applicable to the pure devotee, what it says is that for a practicing devotee, we are not inclined to follow the rules and regulations ourselves by nature, and that is why these rules and regulations are mentioned, and we have to follow them rigorously.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But for a pure devotee, they by default, because of their love for Krishna, they do everything for Krishna. And they don't require these rules and regulations to be mentioned. They will just do it by nature. And that is why it is mentioned that they are not applicable as such. But it doesn't mean that they break all the rules. But sometimes we actually take it as if because it is not
Exactly.
applicable for them, that is like a good position to have. And I have developed a love for Krishna, so I can also
I can forego the rules.
forgo the rules and regulations. So that is why nectar of devotion gives us not these symptoms which are externally visible, like tears in the eyes or rolling on the ground, or all of these ecstatic symptoms which are visible when somebody is in love for Krishna. But nectar of devotion gives you the qualities which which you can by which you can easily see whether you are a pure devotee or not, who has love. Like
Sure.
avyartha kalatvam, like you are not even wasting even 1 second in Krishna's in any other materialistic thing. You are completely engaged in Krishna's service. All of those qualities, 9 qualities which are given in nectar of
Yes,
devotion,
yes, Prabhuji.
those are
Mataji
the
had explained it.
qualities
Yes.
that we should look at and try to measure ourselves against those qualities to see if we really have love for Krishna.
Sure.
So do not trust our mind.
Ha ha ha, no way, Prabhuji. It was just a question which popped up because I
Yeah.
think I was listening to a lecture on pure devotees. So I thought, oh, maybe a mind can trick us as well. So thank you for the wonderful explanation, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mahendra Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
You have been
Krishna, Prabhuji.
very quiet today, Prabhuji. Did not read any translations today.
Nah, Prabhuji, there was like always someone raising hands up. So I just wait for like, opportunity. If there is people keen, then it's all good. I just wait and watch.
So that makes you go into the bronze category, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So remember.
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll try
So,
to come into
yes,
silver category next time.
correct. Unfortunately, gold I have reserved for myself for this class.
Nah, I won't dare that, Prabhuji.
No, over a period of time, all of you have to actually get gold as well. That is the
Prabhuji,
purpose. That is how it
yeah.
should happen.
Prabhuji, I'm at the start of of Kanishta.
Okay, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji. As always, wonderful lecture. You covered so many lovely points, and I really admire your honesty. Saying like I have prepared only up to 72 verses, so I'm gonna. So at any stage, the kind of like personality you carry and the kind of knowledge you have got, you can always carry on with any verse and anything, and you can explain us anything. But it's really admirable. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful lecture. So many nice points. I guess most of the points were covered, but couple of points I'll mention is a pure devotee never asks for the Lord for any undue favor. That's one of the point I stick to me. Other one is Krishna accepts the form of worshipable deity just to accept service of his different incapable devotees. So that was something stick to me as well in today's lecture. And Prabhuji, one question out of curiosity. So Ashwatthama was punished for killing Panduputras. Okay, so for this particular action, wasn't he punished?
No, he wasn't punished afterwards again. His one punishment was given, and that was it.
Okay, and
So
still he did this.
yeah, he still had some power left, which was like because Brahmāstra can be invoked by the mantras. He has learned the mantras, and that is why he was still able to invoke invoke the Brahmāstra even after he was punished. He should have learned the lesson, but he has this revengeful attitude, which he couldn't give up. He should have learned, and he shouldn't have done this. And especially such a heinous activity of trying to kill a child in the womb. That is really, really bad activity. But Krishna just protected Parīkṣit Mahārāja and the Pāṇḍavas, and he did not take any further action at that point.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sannivas Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Very nice class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the Parīkṣit Mahārāja at 7 months of age, the embryo was there, and then he started looking at Narayan. So, and then when the reference came, what is the 7 month left? Is it that in Kapil Dev explaining to Devotee Mata about the embryo evolution, saying that at the 7th month he gets his consciousness, and a fortunate soul does the prayers for the Lord. This should be my last life. I will not come out as well. And he's been pushed out by the Maya. Is that the one? Is that the one? So which is saying that is at that stage every embryo, fortunate embryo, can do the prayers. Is that
Yeah, Prabhuji. It is possible, Prabhuji, that it is referring to that levels, stages. But my understanding, based on the purport that I read immediately after at that point, it looked like that from the previous death till the time the consciousness that he gets is some 7 months that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that they are in the trance. But I will go back and refer to that description that Kapila Dev gives in the later cantos of where exactly that is mentioned. Do you remember, Prabhuji? Like, does it say that at the 7th month?
7th month, that's what I remember. Because until
Okay.
7th month, all the bodily parts will grow, and at 7th month, consciousness will come, and from that month onwards, he starts praying, and he don't want to come out from the womb. He want to remain there itself, but by the energy of Maya, he's been pushed out, and as soon as he comes out, he forgets everything.
Fine. So maybe that is what it is referring to. But I will actually go through and read that
Maybe
section.
I was just thinking that may be the thing.
Yeah, I'll go and I thought.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. It is in the 7th month. It is mentioned in that Kapil Dev's chapter as well.
Okay.
That it's when the soul gets the consciousness, and actually
So that is where.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Thank you very much, Anang Manjari and Sannyas Prabhuji, to point out. So Shama Mataji is still there, Gaurchandra Prabhu?
Yes,
Around?
Prabhuji, I'm listening. Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So this is probably the right answer.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So based on like what Kapil Dev has mentioned afterwards, that the 7th month the consciousness is there, and that is when they start spraying. So that is where the 7 months trance Srila Prabhupada is mentioned here.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Prabhuji,
you,
can I
Sannyas
ask you a
Prabhuji.
question?
Yeah, and Anang Manjari. Thank you very much for pointing it out.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
So, Prabhuji, with this, I'm just asking out of curiosity. Probably it doesn't have to, like have anything with the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a devotional scripture. So, just wanted to ask Prabhuji, like with this Brahmāstra, if someone gets this Brahmāstra, can he just use it again and again? This makes me really wonder that how he can use. He has used once and then he has used twice the same Brahmāstra.
It is not like a Brahmāstra is like a one arrow which you release and then it is that arrow is gone. You can't go and collect that arrow to fire it again. No, Brahmāstra is not a gross astra. It is a subtle astra. So it is invoked through the mantras. So those who are aware of the mantras, they can actually invoke it multiple times, as many times as they want, if they have learned that vidya.
Oh, okay. So they can, it's a mantra and they can just invoke it again and again if they want.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, right. No, thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aparna Mataji, your hand is still up. Is that again
Yeah,
a
a
new?
quick question, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, does the Bhagavatam class is gonna be continuing to the holidays, or are we gonna have a break?
I'm not yet sure, Mataji. Like I was thinking of canceling even today's class because I thought that there like we can see that the numbers have gone down because of the holiday period.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But we still have few of you here. So is everyone going to be available? Like those who are here today, are
I
they
will
going
be,
to?
Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Okay, some of you are not going to be here, right? Because those who are traveling to India for, as I was mentioning earlier, for them, this time slot is not very good because that's like around midnight or something or early morning in India, so they can't attend. So that is why I may actually just continue with one more session to complete the chapter 12, and then we will take 2-3 weeks break.
Nice, Prabhuji. Good to know. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll post the message in the group.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Sannyas Prabhu will take this last point and then we'll close.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. With your permission, can I share some more information, Prabhuji? Can you correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is it like after that question, when Prabhuji asked, second Brahmāstra is Aśvatthāmā is punished, is it mentioned in Mahabharata? No? Then that's when Krishna gives him to become Chiranjeevi and suffer for all these troubles. Because at this point, Krishna didn't interfere. After the second Brahmāstra, I think that at that time, then Krishna gives him that sharp to remain as a
No, that was all
Chiranjeevi.
happened in the first Brahmāstra only, Prabhuji. The first
Is it?
Brahmāstra
Okay.
itself, when he fired that Brahmāstra and he was captured, and at that time, then he was punished. Ashwathama was punished by removing the jewel on his forehead.
Yes,
And at that time itself, he was given this sharp or the curse that he will suffer for many lifetimes, like many years, because he will not die and he will just roam around without having any friends, all of those things.
In spite of that one, he still did the sin, Prabhuji. Oh,
Yes, Prabhu, what to do?
so hard to hear. Okay, Krishna, a soul can be like that. Oh, Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for correcting me.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So we'll pause here. Thank you very much. And hopefully next week we can complete this chapter and then we can take some break. Hare Krishna. Srimad
Thank you,
Bhagavatam
Prabhuji.
ki
Hare
jai,
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
It is great.